What is up guys, Kartaka here, and today I'm here with another Digimon deck profile. Today we'll be going over deck profile for the Alliance Lopmon deck from... This is like mostly BT-17 support, so let's just say BT-17, but it is made as of BT-18, so this deck still functions pretty well in BT-18. So let's get right into the deck profile. So for the Digitamons, we're running 4 of the Chocomons, but you can run Gummymon if you want, that's perfectly fine. I just think running Chocomon is a little bit better for the thematic feel, and yeah, you getting a Tamer on the board and you resting one of your Digimon with an effect they happen around as often as each other. So yeah. All right, now let's get right into the main deck. So for the level 6s, we're running 2 of the Cherubimon Ace. So this one is definitely up to you. If you want to run more, that's perfectly fine. You can run 3 or 4 of these if you want, but I think 2 is a fine number. They're not really cheap right now, so if you want to kind of lower the cost of your deck, you can run them at lower numbers. But this is a pretty strong card. So the ability is it has Alliance first of all, and on evolution and on play, you can play a purple or a green Digimon from your hand. That's level 4 or lower without paying its cost. And then afterwards, for every other one of your Digimons you have on the board, you can give one of your opponents minus 4,000 power. So it's a bit of a disruption on your opponent's board, but playing Digimon for free on your turn on your opponent's turn is pretty good. You can set up for a block or something if you have a Rapidmon in your hand. So yeah, Cherubimon is here for that, but mostly you just want to have a card on the board to use for Alliance later on. So yeah. Alright, next we are running 2 of the Cherubimon from EX4. So this Cherubimon is also pretty good. It's a very strong rare. So it's got Alliance and on evolution and on attack. For every one of your rested Digimon, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 power. So this ability does activate on evolution as well. So you can kind of use the ability in a multitude of ways. If you have Digimon rested on the board already, then you can kind of evolve into this. Or if you are attacking, alliancing with your level 5s, and then you use the evolution effects and her abilities, you can also chain that onto the evolution. That way you don't miss the timing for your on attack. So yeah, pretty good. I quite like the EX4 Cherubimons. Next, we're also running 2 of the Cherubimon X Antibody from BT-16. So this one is this card is a card I've been experimenting with. I kind of like it, but I also kind of don't, just because sometimes when you don't have the Cherubimon in source, you do miss out on a bit. But first of all, the ability is it's got Alliance, and on evolution and attack once per turn, you can play a yellow or a green level 4 Digimon from your trash or hand without paying its cost. So you can use this to loop your Rapidmons, which is pretty good. And then at the end of the attack, if this Digimon has Cherubimon or X Antibody in its source, you can delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. And then for every other Digimon you have on the board, you can increase the cap by 1. So it's got a pretty strong pop-in effect, I like to say. So it's pretty good. I quite like this. Even when you don't have the Cherubimon source, I think the ability to just play a level 4 for free is good, especially since you can choose from the trash. So that definitely widens your scope of plays. So yeah, that is the Cherubimon X Antibody. And we're running 1 Mega Gargomon Ace as a tech. So if you want to run a full Cherubimon line, you can. But I quite like the Mega Gargomon here, just to for a little bit of interruption on your opponent's turn. If they're planning to jogress or evolve or something, you can kind of stop them. So it's pretty good. Running one of those. If you don't want to run this, you can definitely switch this for another Cherubimon Ace if you want, or any of the other Cherubimons running. Or if you want to run the Dark Cherubimon, those are fine as well. but thematically he fits in, so that's fine. Alright, next for the level 5s, we are running a newer card that we got from BT-17. So this is the Cherubimon. So this is it's got an alliance ability, and on evolution, you can play a green or yellow level 3 Digimon from trash without paying its cost. Most of the time you're just playing level 3s just because everything in this deck is level 3. Nothing's really restricted, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you'll be able to use the card that you freshly called out to alliance with it, so that's pretty good. And then for the other level 5s, we're also running 3 of the Cherubimon from EX6. So this one's got alliance as well, and on evolution you can play a green or yellow level 3 Digimon from your hand without paying its cost. So this is they're pretty similar. One plays from your hand, one plays from your trash. So we're running both just because, you know, sometimes your different combo pieces will be in different places, and so having access to both is pretty good. And I forgot to mention about inherent ability. So for the Dark Cherubimon evolution ability, it's at the end of attack you can delete one of your other suspended Digimon to play a level 3 Digimon with the beast trait from your trash without paying its cost. So you can use this to loop your searchers, which is pretty good. And then for the light one, the one from EX6, it's if you have another rested Digimon in play at the end of attack, you can play one of a beast trait card from your hand without paying its cost. So pretty similar. Once again, one is from the trash and one is from your hand. So depending on the state of the game, either one has its own uses. So I'm pretty happy that the light one is, you know, from hand, and the dark one is from trash. It's very thematic. I quite like that. This is a very thematic deck. I really like it. And then for the other level 5s, we are running 2 of the Rapidmon. So Rapidmon is just good. It's just a good card. So first off, it has an on play and on option ability, which is to Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. And then if you have a Tamer in play, this Digimon cannot be deleted by your opponent's effect, and it cannot return to the hand or deck. So that's a bit of protection as well. So Rapidmon is just good. It's just a good card. So I'm seeing Rapidmon being played in a lot of other decks now, so you know, it speaks to how good it is. And originally I was running like a full-on Lopmon deck, but I feel like splashing a little bit of the Cherubimon stuff does help the deck a lot. Help the deck out a lot without it being just a Rapidmon deck. So I quite like the little bit of Cherubimon stuff in this deck. Next we are running 4 of the ST-17 Rapidmon. So this is the little bit of Cherubimon stuff I'm talking about. So we're running out 4 of these just because this is just a strong card. It is a target for your plays because you can recycle it, and it is callable with Cherubimon, and it's just callable, and it combos pretty well because the effect for this card is on both players' turn. Whenever this card is rested, you can give one of your opponent's Digimon and all their security minus 4,000 power. So this combos with the DP minus that you have with the rest of the deck. And even if you can't armor purge, it's still a blocker, and it's 7k base, so it's just a strong card to have. And so yeah, 4 of these, pretty good. And we're running 4 of the Wendigomon from EX4. So this has alliance, and the inherent abilities is at the end of attack. If you have another rested Digimon, you can grab a green Digimon card back to your hand. So that this is used to kind of loop. And also pretty good for getting cards in your hand if you don't have the purple Cherubimon stuff to play from trash. You can get it in your hand to play with the yellow stuff if you need it. So it's quite good. And we're running 3 of the Wendigomon from ST-17. So this is another card that you can combo with your level 6 and 5s, because this is a on play and on evolution ability, which is to delete delete a level 3 Digimon, and then if you delete your own Digimon, you can play a Cherubimon name or Lopmon name level 3 from your trash without paying costs. So you can use this to kind of increase the consistency, again by If you're missing pieces in your hand, you can use them to play out your searchers, which is good. And the inherent ability is just to get 1000 TP, which does help beef up your stuff. So the Rapidmon also gives 1000 DP if this Digimon is rested. So they both get 1000 DP when you're rested. So yeah. All right, next we are running for the Lopmon from EX4. So this one on play lets you look at the top 4, and then you can grab a 2-color card as well as a Suzy, and then put the rest at the bottom. And then the inherent ability, which is pretty important for this deck, the inherent ability, it's whenever a Alliance ability rests one of your Digimon, you can Digivolve into a 2-color Digimon from your hand for 2 costs less. So this is very important for going up into your level 5s and 4s, or 5s and 6s. So we're running quite a few Digimon, or quite a few cards that can help you reduce the cost. Another one being the Cherubimon. So this one is also a searcher for dual color cards, but this searches for Henry instead of Suzy. And then the inherent ability is the same as well. So if you don't want to run this one, you can run the the Assistant Cherubimon if you want. We are actually running Henry in this deck, so you won't be able to get the Henry search off. But if you run the the Assistant Cherubimon, you'll be able to get the inherent ability as well. But that one gives kind of a DP buff if you are worried about your Digimon dying in battle. Alright, next for the rest of level 3 is running to the Lopmon. So this one helps you give one of your Digimon Alliance. And then the inherent ability, you just get 1000 TP when it's rested. And we are running 4 of the Cherubimon from ST17, which lets you play a Tamer or Lopmon for 2 costs less. So I think Cherubimon is just a solid card to have. Next, for the Tamers, we're running 3 Suzys. So Suzy is on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Beast, Beastkin, Holy Beast, or Cherubi trait amongst them to your hand, and then put the rest at the bottom. And then on your turn, whenever a effect suspends one of your Digimon by suspending this Tamer, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a card with Beastkin, Holy Beast, or Cherubi trait for the evolution cost reduced by 2. So just another card to help you reduce costs, which is pretty important. So yeah, we're running 3 of her. But if you want to run the Suzy and Henry, instead, you can. But I feel like just pure Suzy is pretty good as well. And for the green Tamers, we are running 2 of the Mimis. Mimi is just your memory setter, and it also lets you push out a card from your raising area if you have a level 5 or more the green Digimon on the board. So kind of use those for alliance plays if you need it. So it's pretty good. You need to use, like, for earlier plays, this is pretty good just because you'll be able to, if you use your Double Typhoon to play out one of your Digimon, you won't be able to attack with that first. So you can use this to push out that card, and then push out a card in your raising area, and then you can use the card that you played with the Double Typhoon as the alliance skill target, and that will be pretty good. So yeah. Alright, next for the options, we're running 3 Double Typhoons. I was running this at 4, but I don't really have space for it. I want to play some other options as well, and so that's why I cut this down to 3. But I do kind of want to bump it up back to 4 if possible, just because it's a really good search. For 3 costs, you can grab a Digimon and a Tamer, which makes it one of the best consistency boosters in this deck. Of course, you don't get to reduce the illusion cost like the training cards, but instead you get to, for the delay effect, you can play a Cherubimon or a Lopmon instead, which is, I think, equally valuable, just because you can either get a free search off with the searchers, or you can combo it with this Cherubimon to play another Lopmon for 1 cost, or for 1 cost, which helps you go wide. So I think it's pretty good. Next, we are running 2 of the Green Scramble. Green Scramble is really strong in this deck just because you'll be able to use the first ability to reduce the illusion cost, which we don't have the trainings to do in this deck, and that's why we're running Scrambles. But the second ability is at the start of your turn, you use the delay effect, you can grab a green Digimon card, and put it back to the top of the deck. And then if you don't have a Digimon on the board, you can put a 2,000 power or less green Digimon in play for free. So you can use that as your alliance fodder, which is Stonks. And its security effect is just the second part of the ability. It lets you play a 2,000 power or less Digimon from your trash without paying its cost. So Green Scramble is just good. And we're also running 2 of the Heaven's Judgment. If you don't like Heaven's Judgment in this deck, you can run the Giant Missile instead if you want. But since we're running quite a few colors in this deck, I think the Heaven's Judgment is pretty good. And so we're running 2 of those. But definitely you can run the Giant Missile if you want. So yeah. Additionally, you can also run what's this called? You can run the Henry that lets you rest something if you want. Because we are running Rapidmon, so you can use the ability for that. But most of the time, I think the Mimis are definitely better than the Henrys. I think Mimi is just, I think, the best green setter in the game still. Best green tamer right now is Shorto, but I think Mimi is pretty good setter. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully this makes it in time for the English release of BT-17, because I think that you recently just got that set. But I do believe you won't be getting the green scrambles. So instead of green scramble, you can run the trainings if you want, or you can bump your double cyclones up to 4. And for this slot, it's a flex slot. You can kind of run Henry and Susie if you want, or you can run a Giant Missile if you want. But yeah, the deck is pretty flexible. I think overall the deck is super fun to play. I think it's my favorite green deck to play, if I'm honest. Either this one or Vortex, but I quite like this one just because I really like Lopmon and Cherubimon. So being able to play this deck it's pretty good. But that's pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. But this is Kartaku, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!